The Wallabies may be in a struggling time in the rugby union world at the moment. However, they have had some golden moments and some golden generations. So today at the Sports Booth, we're looking in the 5 best Wallabies moments ever. Kicking this off, we're taking you to the 2003 Rugby World Cup. On home soil, we obviously all know what happened in the end. England come away with the World Cup. But let's go back to the semi-final against the All Blacks, arch rivals All Blacks, where Sterling Mortlock picks off the great Carlos Spencer and runs 70 plus metres to score a try in a packed Sydney house. This is a massive moment in Wallabies rugby, and kind of now we look back, wrapped up that golden generation and that golden era of Wallabies rugby where Mortlock runs 70 plus metres, scores a try. The Wallabies end up beating arch rivals, the All Blacks, in the semi-final, and then go through to the final to play England on home soil. There's no better moment as a rugby player to be able to play on your home turf in a grand final in the World Cup. Obviously, the end was disappointment, but to get there and the build-up to that final and even that game in that final, I just think to not have the 2003 Rugby World Cup somewhere here, it just would be an outrage. And I think that moment specifically with the Sterling Mortlock interception is one that just lives in the memory of a lot of people. That's why it is number 5 on our list. In number 4, I have gone with the John Eales penalty. In 2000, to win a Bledisloe in Wellington, which is no easy kicking conditions, but as a New Zealander I am, it's a tough to watch it back because it's so incredible to see the Wallabies without a number one kicker on the field and their captain and Big Lock step up from about 30 metres out on the left-hand touchline and kick the game-winning penalty and the Bledisloe Cup securing win. It's a phenomenal image. It's a phenomenal, moment in Wallabies history as we are now. And when we look back, 20 plus years now, it's seen as such a big, significant moment because of the Bledisloe history when we look back now. John Eales kicking that, the Bledisloe being won, and, not many wins since. It, to me, just stands out as one of the key moments in that era of Wallaby rugby. In number 3, we're sticking around that time zone, and I've gone the 1999 Rugby World Cup victory. The 1999 Rugby World Cup was primarily held in Wales, but with the games being played in the UK. The Wallabies went in there as I wouldn't say favourites, but high expectations. They were in Pool E with Ireland, Romania and the United States. And in their first game against Romania, won 57-9. They went on to beat Ireland 23-3 and the United States 55-19. This set up a quarterfinal with Wales, where they came out victorious 24-9. They then headed into a semi-final against the Springboks in a fierce game, which went into extra time, where the Australians came out on top 27-21, and then went into the finals expecting to be playing New Zealand, but after New Zealand were knocked out by the French in the semi-final, were playing the French and convincingly won 35-12 to take home the Rugby World Cup for a second time. The second greatest moment I have for the Wallabies is the 1991 World Cup victory. In 1991, it was hosted by the teams that participated in the 5 nations, so no Italy, but France, England, Wales, Ireland, Scotland. Australia were in Pool 3. They had not yet changed to the alphabet system yet, so they were in Pool 3 with Western Samoa, Wales and Argentina. First game, they won against Argentina 32-19. They then beat Western Samoa 9-3 and defeated Wales 38-3 to book a quarter-final with Ireland. They beat Ireland 1980 to advance to a semi-final against the New Zealand arch rivals, and this is why this specific one sits ahead of 1999. To defeat New Zealand at a World Cup is a massive moment, and then to go on and win the World Cup, I don't think that can be ignored. So beating New Zealand in the 1991 World Cup 16-6 in the semi-final, and then beating England 6-12 was a really dominant showing from probably the golden, if not the greatest generation of the Wallabies in the professional era. Now, number one might be slightly controversial because what I've done is put an asterisk here. I have set the next time the Wallabies win the Bledisloe Cup will be their number one moment in history. And why I say this is obviously it's been a longer wait for a Rugby World Cup. Totally understandable. But a Rugby World Cup isn't competed every single year. So the expectations to win a Rugby World Cup and not delivering them doesn't to me seem as a disappointing thing. So what I've kind of done is bracketed that they will have another great moment when they eventually win back the Bledisloe Cup. Now, the last time the Wallabies held a Bledisloe Cup was 2002, where they drew the series with the All Blacks 1-1. New Zealand winning the first game 12-6, Australia the second game 16-14. Then in 2003, New Zealand 2-0'd them and haven't looked back since. And since 2003, there's only been 4 drawn series where the Wallabies have tied 1-1 with the All Blacks, won one of the games, but haven't been able to steal it completely off the All Blacks, which they need to do. And in my belief, I know it sounds, I guess, hypocritical to say that a greatest moment in Wallabies history hasn't happened, but when you go back 20 plus years now to something that happens every single year and they haven't been able to achieve it, the great history of the Wallabies must be disappointed. And so the fact that when they do finally get their hands on it, I think will be the greatest moment in Wallabies history. As we head into 2023, obviously the Bledisloe Cup on the line again, Eddie Jones back in house. It's going to be an interesting time and an interesting opportunity for the Wallabies to win this series. Now, why I say that, first game at the Melbourne Cricket Ground is going to be huge with Eddie in charge. The second game, and for the first time in a very long time, is that there's no Bledisloe Cup game at Eden Park. This is due to the Women's Football World Cup being on in New Zealand, Australia, and Eden Park already being used. So the second test is actually in Dunedin, giving them a very good opportunity for the Wallabies to win this one and eventually create one of the greatest moments in their history. If you disagree, if you have any better ideas, if you think that there are better moments or worse moments or my list is incorrect, please let me know. Always welcome back criticism and feedback. If you think my list is incorrect or you think there are better memories, better moments in the Wallabies history, please let me know. Always welcome feedback and criticism. If you enjoy what we do here, if you enjoy these videos, please feel free to subscribe. Helps the channel greatly. For now, thank you for joining us. I've been Luke from the Sports Booth. We'll talk to you later. Goodbye.